Oh my god. Moderation helps everyone feel safe. Why would I need to moderate my beautiful subscribers? Damn. I'm just waiting for things to kick off, kind of. So I'm like resetting my potatoes. No, literally, I put potatoes to boil because I'm gonna make mashed potatoes later with some meat. And so yeah. Should I get makeup done? Not like full makeup, like full beat face, but but like a decent little makeup type of thing, so I don't look like a fucking monster. I feel like lipstick goes a long way for a lot of people like me specifically, because I'm just yapping right now until people show up, because I'm leaving this video up on my YouTube, um because why not? Why does that look pink? I guess it's just lighting. Hello, my first viewer. Oh my god. Now I feel like I should be talking about what the video was on, even. So my live is titled watch the Michelle McDaniel video about fat acceptance, and now I want to talk about it. Why wouldn't I want to talk about this? Given my state, or my state, however you feel about that. So her video was about this user. I forgot the name of the user, but it's this user who is in the whole like fat acceptance thing. Um, to each their fucking own. Oh, I can't cuss on this because monetization. But anyways, so she's in the whole fat acceptance thing and has these ideas that basically are like, oh, if you're doing intentional weight loss, but you were once like a plus size creator, a fat acceptance creator, you should just not talk about it because it'll make other fat people feel bad, and things like that. And it's fat phobic. I was paying attention to the video, but it's hard to like reiterate what this woman was saying without completely misconstruing her words. And I don't like taking people's words and twisting them just because I don't personally agree. I only like doing that if I don't like the person. And I have no opinion on her. So I wouldn't like to twist her words. But it was along those lines. And it was just, I don't like, it's like I'm not saying you guys can't have intentional weight loss. I'm saying you guys are now promoting content on intentional weight loss. And first of all, the whole term intentional weight loss, what does that even mean? Obviously, I know what it means, like, oh, like you're purposefully dieting and you're exercising to lose weight. And it's like, so that's what you have a problem with. What what includes unintentional weight loss then? Like, are you only okay with people losing weight if it's because, oh, they're sick and dying and their bodies, their metabolisms are trying to save them. And so in doing so, they're not holding in calories or however that works. And now they're losing weight that they did not anticipate on losing because they're sick and dying. Is that the only weight loss that is a-okay to make content on? And it's a whole other thing. Like, it's Michelle McDaniel. I love her videos a lot. I watch her videos all the time. I watch them when I'm working out. I watch them. I was literally eating an entire bowl of noodle soup while watching her videos. I will watch her videos whenever. And her videos don't make me feel any other way about about the things that I'm doing, how I'm eating, how I am working out. It's just fun to watch the videos. But I was watching that one today over a little bowl of shin ramyun or whatever the fuck. It's like this ramen, right? It was like half a bowl because I ate the other half yesterday. But I was watching it and I was like, okay, I'm hearing what she's saying. I am both. Was the user's name like Fierce Fat Femme? Something like that. I think that was the user's name. And Michelle McDaniel was like, I'm hearing both of them speak on all of this. But I do have some critiques on both ends. So I fear that we're not focusing enough on. I can't really say that though because it depends on what your internet looks like. There's no study done on which end of the spectrum gets the most focus and the most lashings. Do we like lash mostly people who are on like the fat acceptance end of it, or the people who are on like pro Anna things like that? And you guys are not as online as I am. As from what I've seen with my YouTube audience, a lot of y'all are at the age that you are like making adult money. So I'm assuming you guys don't have enough time to be as chronically online as I am. So I'll just break it down. Pro Anna, pro anorexia, things like that. You know what I mean? Pro Mia, pro bulimia. That's what that is, right? Those are spaces online that exist. I was once part of those spaces because I don't just talk about, I don't just make jokes about bulimia and eating disorders because they're funny to me. Like, no, that was my thing. That was my brand. That's so fucked. But anyways, these are spaces that exist. I was on both spaces at some points in my life. So I don't know, there's no study done that, focuses like which spaces do we focus more on? Do we focus more on the fat acceptance ones, or do we focus more on the pro Mia pro Anna ones? We don't know which one gets the most lashings. We do know historically though, like what we've seen throughout, society with diet culture, things like that. You know, Coke user culture, that the skinnier ones, they are typically more praised. And that might be controversial, but nowadays, I don't know if that's even true still. But that's how it was. The whole, like everyone wanted to look like what was once the face of, Victoria's Secret Angels, things like that. Everybody was on that. You know what I mean? But I feel that if you're going to make content on denouncing certain spaces and certain people, you should focus on both of them. I don't know if Michelle McDaniel has ever made a video on ED Twitter. I hate the chronically online bunk that is coming out of my mouth right now, but that's just what it is. Or, the pro Anna spaces on Tumblr, which it really did originate on Tumblr. But a lot of it has been on fat people. And that, does it bother me? It doesn't bother me like, oh, like I'm triggered, things like that. It's most like a pattern I'm noticing. You know what I mean? It's not that something bothers you, it's just that you just notice something. That doesn't make you bothered. Being aware of patterns does not mean that you're bothered. And I don't like when people say that, like you're making this live because you're bothered by it. No, I like the girl's content. She's kind of funny. So, but then in regards to the I don't even, am I even saying her user right? Fierce Fat Femme. I think that was her username. Why does it bother you that people are losing weight? She did say why it bothered her, but these are such dumbass reasons. And apparently the woman is a professor somewhere. The political talk really only works in the setting of a classroom, because this is, I don't know if it's a tone deaf of me to say, but spewing in political buzzwords into the points that you're making kind of makes it lose its oomph, like its power. It like, oh, throughout the political history that we've seen with fat phobia being plagued, and it's like, you guys, that makes it sound very not seriously. Like it doesn't sound like a serious talking point, and it could be. But that's why a lot of people are turned off from even listening to what you have to say. It sounds like, like an SJW Wojak type of thing. And I have no issue with justice, with social justice warriors. Sometimes they have points to make, and sometimes they're on, like, I know what they're trying to say. But you guys need to learn how to use like less extreme language, or else it, even to me, it sounds weird. It sounds like you guys are just talking to talk, and it's kind of like me, but they're trying to make this point that's like, I don't know exactly how to word it. What's irking me about the way that she said it, intentional weight loss, like that's, and then the whole thing with in grouping and out grouping, it feels like it's trying too hard to connect this issue. And the issue was with people who were once like fat acceptance plus size creators, and now switching sides and showing them how they've lost weight and things, that it feels fat phobic. And she's saying it's not a problem that you guys are losing weight. It's a problem that you guys are showing us how you're losing weight. But that's not even the problem either. It's like, you just want to say, in short, what this user's trying to say, from what I'm seeing, is you guys, I don't like that you guys are losing weight, but I can't do anything about that. And I can't tell you guys to stop posting it. And I want to tell you that it's kind of weird that you guys are posting about losing weight, but I can't say that or I sound like a hater. And it's like, regardless of how you put it, babe, you sound like a hater. And it's, I don't know. It's like, and why do these acceptance communities even exist? Why do they exist? Why do it feels like I'm on the other end of eating disorder Twitter, because people seem to forget that binge eating disorders are very much eating disorders, and that they should be taken as seriously as, as we take the pro ana spaces and stuff. But the thing about it is, there's a few, like, there's very unique qualities that I see with these individuals. So with the fat acceptance ones, they won't, they really, when they complain about people, they target people who are like, like people, like, let's just say a fit woman who is saying, oh, here are the negative things that can happen to you for being obese. And it's like, they try to deny that there's anything even wrong with, like, that there's any negative health consequences to obesity. And it's like, hey, I know that some people have like conditions and things that make them gain weight, but a lot of you guys don't. And a lot of the time, it's the food that you're taking in, and, fat that builds as a result. Guys, I'm not a nutritionist by any means. I am just someone who's been observing this and has been on the fat end of the conversation multiple times. Never been on the anorexic end of the conversation, but I'll give it a try. I'm kidding. But it's like, why are you denying that this is harmful? Why, like, this is scientifically proven, and they can say, oh, the doctors and how they take weight and like their standards, the BMI system, it's all flawed. And it's like, well, that's true, but hey, two things can be true at once. Their system of, keeping people's weight and determining if you're healthy or not, that's flawed, because they don't like acknowledge other factors, like that some people are just built differently, literally. Things like that. It's like, oh, everyone has the same body. It's all based on height, that type of thing. But it could also be a fact of you guys are genuinely unhealthy. I've seen people who just like, and it makes me sad, genuinely. Like, TLC shows. Come on, you guys. Like, whether you'd like to admit it or not, we've watched them. Unless you're like really against the whole spectacle of it all. And I am against it, but like, hey, I will watch it. They can't get up to do dishes. They need help. I saw this one individual whose foot was just like bloated because the weight had really nowhere else to go. It started to affect his feet. That man would end up dying. And that genuinely made me so sad. And it was like, but how could there even be these spaces that tell you that it's health not healthy, but it's okay, like there's nothing wrong with it, and if you find that there's something wrong with it, you should ask yourself why and see that it goes to fat phobia. No, it doesn't go to fat phobia, it goes to the fact that it's a genuine threat to your health and livelihood. Oh my god. But now on the that's a unique set of it, the complete denial that it's like a it's nothing related to health, it doesn't actually affect your health. um so that's the one unique trait with the fat acceptance groups that I've seen. But with the eating disorder ones, they know that they're fucked up and that they're unhealthy. But, and here's the kicker, and I'm not speaking on like, oh, you're generalizing because these girls are thinner and they look better than you, Clarissa. No, I'm speaking because of people I've met on those spaces, my own experience on those spaces, and things like that. This is what I'm speaking on. They know that they're messing up, they know that their bodies are slowly shutting down on them, but that doesn't phase them. And in fact, they welcome the amounts of unhealthiness that comes onto them and things like that. They welcome it with open arms. That's not controversial to say. Do you know? Okay, so it's not bad to seek inspiration for things and to be inspired, but I think that crosses there's a line to be crossed when you're seeking inspiration and motivation to further starve yourself and further deteriorate your body in that manner. And a lot of the times these they go by so many names: mean spo, fat spo, gross spo, thin spo, bone spo. It's such a mess. It's like Pinterest from hell, essentially. Meanspo, it's basically tweets that are like mean tweets directed to fat people that you read, and it's like, this is the mean things that fat people hear. Bone spo, people who are bone thin, and you guys should want to look like this. Thin spo, people who are just regularly thin, and you should aim to look like this. Fatspo is literally just grabbing random people's videos online or pictures online, people who have not done anything to them personally, but they're fat. That's all they did wrong. Wrong. Well, be fat. So we're going to put these random strangers' videos on a Twitter thread, and this is gonna show you what's you're going to look like if you keep eating. That's what a fatspo thread is. Do you guys know how fucked up that is? Like, these people didn't do anything to them. Are they unhealthy? Yes. But that's like really none of your business. Why are you grabbing their videos? You don't even ask them, by the way. And not that they would say yes, but you don't even ask. And just, putting them on your own platform for multiple people to shit on them. Do you know how weird that is? But they acknowledge that what they're doing and how they're living is messed up. But they like for people to acknowledge that. Eating disorders on that end of the spectrum are very competitive. And I used to be very defensive about that. When I was a very like a struggling bulimic on those spaces of the internet, I would be like, not all eating disorders are competitive. You guys are just haters and this and that. And it's like, now that I'm 20 and a bit older, still not fully matured, I at least have, the reasoning in my brain to be like, they are kind of competitive. Because if you get off on the fact that people are genuinely concerned for you because you've dropped 20 pounds in the span of half a month, I don't know what to tell you. That's not a flex. These inspo threads, sometimes a talking point would be like, people will be so concerned for you, asking if you're okay, that when they see your new weight loss. And it's like, that's messed up. Like it's weird. It's like they acknowledge it. Whereas the fat acceptance communities, they're like, this is not unhealthy. They're like, we know this is unhealthy. Keep doing it. Let's see how unhealthy it can get. Yeah. And I will say that I loved when people would be concerned for me. I don't really like it now because it's annoying low key. It'll be like, Clarissa just doesn't eat and this and that. And it's like, I promise you I ate, I just don't eat as much like as I used to eat. Before, when I feel like I've mentioned this in a previous live, but just to let you guys know where I'm coming from. My highest weight was like 240. I'm at 170 now. Like a midday yesterday, I got on the scale. I was 171. Um, so that's where I'm coming from. It was much discipline. It was difficult. And the bulimia, by the way, it doesn't help. It does not help. It helps you with, because when you're at that point, you are so disordered. You're like, this like the food in my body that, because food has mass, it weighs something. You're putting it in your body. That's obviously going to make the scale weigh differently. It had me thinking, no, that's not water weight. That's weight that I've genuinely gained. Let me get it out of me. It it was a mess. But I wasn't losing weight like that. But you know how I was losing weight? When I started to eat like a normal person and did 30 minutes of exercise. I've never done more than an hour, and usually it's only 30 minutes. That's it. So, but back then, I loved it when people were like, "Oh, Clarissa, did you eat today? Clarissa, you look like you've lost weight." And they were genuinely concerned for me. Before then, the bulimic allegations did not bother me. I welcomed them because it was like, then I must be doing something right. Demented, delusion. That's what this is. It's so weird to me. Like it's so weird how differently these spaces work. But why don't we focus on both? Both have very much killed people. And you guys are probably thinking like, "Oh, this is all online bullshit. Like this is just strictly online things. This ends when you close the laptop." No, the disorders are very much still there, but hey, I will say the online spaces make them a whole lot worse. Like a whole lot worse. It's ridiculous. So, with the whole fat acceptance thing, we've already heard of people dying because, of heart related diseases that definitely are not being helped by, continuing unhealthy eating habits and things like that. But did you guys know that people have died on eating disorder Twitter? Did you guys know that? And ain't shit funny about that. Genuinely, nothing is funny about that. And I remember one day, so not only would they do inspo threads like that, they would also make tweets promoting their group chats that they would make for accountability. Now, what that is they would have a calorie limit to how much like they're allowed to eat a day, and they would report back to each other in the group chat and would do weigh-ins together and things like that, and then see who lost the most weight, things like that. I was never in one personally, so I don't know what the end goal was, if there was an end goal, or if this was just something to keep that eating disorder in check, make sure it's working. But sometimes they would take it a step further and make a little game out of it, which they would call fasting group chats. So, by the name of it, a fasting group chat was a group chat where we're going to see who can fast the longest. You guys are not Jesus. You guys will not be fasting for 40 days. By a few days of that group chat existing, someone had died. Someone was in that group chat and apparently had already not been eating before the creation of the group chat. And they woke up to a message. And, I don't know how true this is, because it'd be like Clarissa believes everything she sees online. But hey, it's kind of not unbelievable for someone to die after they've not eaten in multiple days. It's plausible. It's plausible. So the person, they had gotten the phone, they passed, and someone related to the person was like, "So this family member of mine just died of starvation," and that's how that ended. That was a whole thing. I don't know if there is any debunking of that incident happening. I never really followed up with that because it was just like one user wasn't like someone popular, which doesn't mean that they're like worth any less because they didn't have a big following. But no, it was just like something, I guess people never really caught up with that. And it's kind of shocking to me that those spaces continue to flourish after people have legitimately like just died, things like that. It's weird. But with the whole, Michelle McDaniel video that I was watching, it's like I don't see focus on these spaces either. I did see one video where she was making it a point like, oh, there are more people dying due to obesity related um health concerns than there are people dying to like anorexia, things like that, because obesity is a bigger problem. Well, when you live in the US, it's it's a problem. I think it's a bigger problem in the United States because I feel like we're being fed um I will get sniped through the window for saying this, but I really do feel like we're being just fed junk and are being debilitated on purpose. I don't know how big a conspiracy theorist that makes me, but I feel like it's kind of common sense. What are the cheapest foods here, like fast food and things like that? I found it easier to lose weight when I moved to a better neighborhood, is all I'm gonna say. Hey, I in my experience, I don't know about you guys, but that's my experience. And no one will talk over my experience because that happened to me. It's my experience. And so it's like, yeah, that might be true because we live in the States, but also I feel like there should be a focus on these individuals too, who, by the way, a lot of the times I also feel, I not feel, I hear people say, oh, the fat acceptance community, they play the most victim. And it's like, I can guarantee you they both, fat acceptance and pro anorexia spaces, both play the same amount of victim. Except I feel that there's like a something that, fat acceptance activists, they try to push it in a way that's more political and like something that's, been embedded into the society they live in, something like that. So that's just like the language being used there. But that's why it's most notable for them. But the pro anorexia spaces, oh, they can get away with that so easy because they just claim one thing. They're already not acknowledging that what they're doing is messed up. But they take it a step further. Whenever you would confront these individuals and be like, posting videos of random fat people that you saw online without them knowing and opening them up to harassment, whilst their usernames are very much available for the people that find them on your account to go to their accounts and harass them. Like, I just don't think that's okay. I don't think you should be doing that. They will hit you back with, well, obviously you don't understand that we're mentally ill and this is just like what comes with the mental illness. Oh my god, locals when they realize that eating disorders are mental illnesses, and it's like, when has mental illness ever excused the actions of anyone ever? Now, it's one thing if it were just explaining it. But why are you shocked that people are reprimanding you for being assholes on the internet and harassing people when like if it's not an excuse? Okay, that really didn't make sense. I didn't word that right. But essentially, they're mad when people tell them like, "Hey, this is wrong." But acknowledge that it's mental illness. If you expect the mental illness thing to get people off your back for harassing people online, you're trying to make your mental illness an excuse. It's not an excuse. It'd be an explanation if it were like, I get where you're coming from, but this is just how I am. But I'm trying to work on it, and they don't try to work on it. These spaces are very much alive and well to this day. If and I find that so weird. This is kind of off topic, but not really, because in regards to those spaces, they're very much associated with certain aesthetics. And the reason I'm bringing this up is the only reason I keep seeing these things on my feed is because of, okay, there's these accounts I follow. They post a lot of aesthetic stuff and I like to retweet their stuff. Why am I suddenly seeing a user like something on the play of the word calorie or thin or something like that? And it's like posting about like, oh, I ate one grape a day for 12 weeks. Come see my process. And it's just like, I didn't interact with you though. But the aesthetic accounts, that's what made this individual pop up on my page now. So that's great. I love it. That's just great for me to see. It's not, that's sarcasm, but it's so weird. And back to the whole thing. They will bring up, "Oh, I'm mentally ill. It's fine." And it's like, "No, it's not fine though. It's really not fine." Mental illnesses don't excuse anything ever. Like imagine a backup ending, an alternative ending to the movie Joker where he shoots Maury and then they're like, "Why did you shoot him?" And he's all like, "Well, I'm mentally ill." So and they're like, "Oh, the exit's that way actually." Like could you imagine that shit? Like it's so dumb. It's like no, you but they're playing victim in that sense. They're just not as like it's not an aggressive approach with it. It's more like a meek approach to it. It's like, well, I'm mentally ill. It's okay. And it's like, I can't personally say that I was at a point once in my life where I would say, oh, mental illness, like, it excuses it. And no, it doesn't, Clarissa. Anything that you do bad cannot be excused by mental illness. It could be explained, but it can't be excused. See, that's the point when you have so many people dogpiling on you for being an asshole. That's kind of, a person with even the slightest bit of reason could think on that and be like, wow, that I should probably change my ways. And I know that, my mental illness is really only making me prone to acting out. But after seeing your guys' comments, hold on, can like someone play like some inspirational music or something? Like this would be a great moment for that. But anyways, after seeing your guys' comments and, you know, concerns, I have decided that I'm going to take the steps necessary to become a better person so that I don't act out in this way. But they don't do that. They just say, well, I'm mentally ill. Why can't you guys fathom that I'm mentally ill? And it's like, we know all eating disorders are fueled or not fueled, are mental illnesses. They're not rational by any means. They are psychiatric issues that you have. But you know what else that includes? That binge eating disorder is also very much a psychiatric illness. Ask away. I'm seeing the comment. Hello, I have a question for you. But yes, that binge eating disorder is also a mental illness. So when you're using mental illness as an excuse to bash on an overweight person, you're also bashing on another individual who could potentially be mentally ill. If you like Star Wars, do you think Keanu Reeves would play a great? Ooh, ooh! I am so sorry, Angelina. I wish my boyfriend were here. He could probably answer that a whole lot better than I can because I don't know anything about Star Wars. I am so sorry. I'm dating a nerd and I don't know anything about the nerdy stuff, but I love when he talks about it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Keanu Reeves, though. I'm not basing it off character and stuff, but is he a good actor? Do you guys think Keanu Reeves is a good actor? I think he's great in John Wick. That's it. I'm sorry. Canceled. Canceled right there. Hold on. It's funny that the way conversation works inversely for men and women. I'm about 135 and and probably won't get past 155 even after bulking. People make me very aware of how terrible this is. That you're not gaining weight. I have noticed that though. There is definitely a difference for how men and women are treated based on weight. I think that negatively affects us all. It really does. But so they are bashing you for not being able to gain weight. Is that what it is? So don't mind my question. Just like your Oh, I don't mind your question at all. Like at all. Guys, ask away. Just don't ask anything weird, please. Please. Anyways, um how terrible it is. So, see, that comes into play when, like, I don't know if it's the same issue with you, but things like BMI, I will say BMI is flawed. It's very flawed. I do use it, but simply as a basis for my own progress because it only takes into consideration one's height, and that's just not enough. Like at all. Just eat a sandwich. Comments are nuts. Although I'm technically within my BMI. Yeah, because you probably have your weight aligns with like the fit range in terms of your height. It's just all there. There's such a beautiful name. Thank you. I love Angelina, by the way. So great. But no, yeah, the whole eat a sandwich thing it's annoying. It's annoying. It's insufferable almost. But it's like you can't do anything about that. And BMI is very flawed because it doesn't take into consideration the not only the conditions that people go through but also the build. Should I do like a full body scan right now? Like, okay, you guys probably think I'm like dressed super nice, but I'm really not. Like I'm in shorts and like and stuff. Like I'm really not dressed and my room's low key a mess. So oof. But anyways, so this is me standing, right? Like that stuff, right? But okay, me standing, right? Right? Okay, cool. So my BMI, right? Like the perfect BMI for me would be at my height, which is 5'7", to be within 155 pounds, 150 pounds. You know what I mean? Um, oh, and thank you. Thank you. My mother gave it to me. But it, it doesn't take into consideration of the fact that I have very wide shoulders and I've always hated how wide my shoulders were. I used to watch fucking SS Sniper Wolf. That girl had like half of my shoulders. Like she was like right here. Like this is where her shoulders would end. And she had like this small rib cage. I have a very wide rib cage. So ideally, and with a good amount of toning, I could still very much look fit at 150, but that weight is going to fall differently on other people. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Please know what I mean. Anyways, do I think of BML? BLM. So sorry. Well, Black Lives do matter. I don't know. I don't know what the answer was supposed to be there. Like organization wise, idea wise, and even then, that ain't my place at all. I've seen multiple people talk on that, but the sentiment is shared. I remember seeing so many critiques on it. I don't know why, but the term BLM terrorist, what the fuck does that even mean? I swear, conservatives, they are they are typically people I'm disgusted by, but sometimes they come up with the dumbest shit ever and it's kind of comical in a way. It feels like something that the things coming out of their mouth are things that I would read in like a sketch. I remember seeing this one woman on Fox News where it's like liberals, Democrats, they wake up and they look on their phone and the date reads January 6th. And it was the funniest thing I think I'd ever seen in a minute. The funniest thing. They are so dumb, but BLM terrorists? Like what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know what that means, you guys. Like what terrorists is a word. That's a strong word to be using, you guys. Okay. But yeah. This is not the water I brought into the room. It tasted very flat, very stale, and I don't like it. It's okay. I'm Italian and I'm a short woman. Speaking of Italian, I took Italian and now I have to retake Italian because I failed Italian. Do you guys know how embarrassing it is to fail Italian? Anyway, your my height, wow, 170 is technically far outside the BMI range for 5'7". You look completely normal, and 135 is inside the range, but I feel frail. Well, yeah, a lot of people, like people who do like bulking and stuff, I've never understood it. I don't understand the whole bulking thing. I don't understand the whole cutting thing. I don't understand any of these terms. I can't imagine myself being so understanding of these terms the same way a lot of you feel about the terms that I'm using: meanspo, thinspo, ED Twitter, pro ana, things like that, fat acceptance, blah 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 blah, all these things. I feel like that's the same disconnect that you guys are experiencing, because I don't understand any of these terms. I don't understand how the whole bulking thing works. Hell, I barely, just this, like, not this month, but many months ago, I barely understood what a calorie restriction was. So my stupid ass thought that, calorie restricting means that when they're like a 500 calorie restriction, I thought it meant you were only eating 500 calories. So now it makes so much sense why I was dieting and failing every time, because I didn't understand what the fuck I was even reading. What that means is it's 500 calories less than what you would typically need or eat and things like that. And it's like, oh, now that makes sense. Yay. But I think if you were to like to work out more but eat more so that it kind of matches up, then you could bulk. I don't know how that works at all. Oh my god, and it feels so frustrating. I've The most math I've had to do was to figure out how much I should be eating to even lose any bit of weight. And that's frustrating because I hate math. Martinez was at a protest chanting F the police. I mean, it is a protest. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. And I'm see, I'm not at like you guys. I say I'm not political, but a lot of my content it's political. But it's like certain. It's a system of people who stand by a lot of things, and don't quote me on that. It's just what I've been observing. Maybe that'll change. I don't know. But Melanie Martinez at a protest, I don't think that's the first time I've read about that. I'm not even too big a fan of Melanie Martinez, or a fan at all, since like ninth grade, I think. Anyways, Ned McCurdy mentioned that in the book that her mom died. They're close. Anyway, I had no idea about that. Being small as a man is pretty analogous to being plus size as a woman, at least in my experience. It's worse than your female doctor calling you petite as a man. Has nothing to do with gender roles. Petite as a man. See, maybe I am a little bit, just Clarissa's tone deaf. Clarissa is like, not the most politically aware, because I really am not, or whatever, politically correct. But petite as a man. See, in my brain, the word petite is typically associated with female things. Maybe I'm fucked up. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I am not opposed to being corrected on here at all, because I'm acknowledging I don't know shit. So, but petite, you could have just said, no, not smaller than average, because that just sounds fucked. What could she have said? Smaller framed or something. It has to do with how you're already built. Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is. I'm carrying 170, much more different than a person of my height but like a different build would carry 170. Oh, calorie restriction. I thought you were still on the whole Melanie Martinez thing. No, yeah, because Jeanette McCurdy did struggle a lot with eating disorders and things like that were imposed to her by her mother, which is so like She talks about it and it makes me so upset. Like, it's so sad that this is something that someone had to go through and to that extreme. Like, I would watch iCarly, I would watch the shows and the things that she was in, and it's so easy for someone to just say it, but she really never looked bigger or like, just like as big as she was being made to feel that she was. Like, she just, and for it to be like continuously asked of her to continue losing weight, it's just so absurd. I am so shocked that, like, I don't know if it has happened, but like any like grave or serious, like health complications occurred, because at that rate those things are bound to happen. And it's, no, it's just, it's messed up. It's upsetting as shit. And her mom was very abusive. Her mom was just audacity. I saw this one. What is Jada Smith and Willow Smith's podcast called? Was it like Red Table, something like that? I don't know, but they have a podcast and they brought Jeanette McCurdy on it, and she read an excerpt of her book about how the mom was mad that she was dating this one dude. I forgot which dude it was, but he's not important. The main focus of it was that after shaming her, slut shaming her, and body shaming her, she proceeds to ask for money for a fridge. The chapter should be called The Audacity of This Bitch, because no, I'm not sending you a goddamn thing. Oh my God, how can you talk so crazy to someone and expect them to send you things? It's like, no, nuh-uh, no. When I go to hell, I feel like that one meme where it's like, oh, like may the angels guide her. She's with the angels now. And then it's like, me in hell, where is Ronald Reagan? And it's like, me in hell, where's Jeanette McCurdy's mom? Genuinely, like I'm throwing hands with this woman. I'm so sorry if that's disrespectful to say, but I will, we will, she can catch these hands. I promise you. It's no. Um An unrelated topic. Spaghetti tacos are delicious, on God. Have you tried them? I can't get behind the idea. I can't at all. Like, taco and so, well, I guess, okay, the way that I make spaghetti, it kind of makes a little more sense because we don't make full-on meatballs. We do carne molida, like, like like essentially it kind of just looks like, oh, that's taco meat. No, it's not. So then we put it into the spaghetti and we mix it around. So like at that, I can kind of imagine a spaghetti taco. But with a full-on meatball, no, I can't. Anyways, it has everything to do with generals, I meant. But it's always presented as something I need to make up for, it's like if it's some sort of disease to be 5'7" and skinny. 5'7" and skinny, I feel will get you on a runway. I'm just saying. No, as a woman. But for dudes though, I think there is, because I have seen a good portion of the internet. They just love skinny men, skinny short men. But that can also be said with plus size women. A lot of men love plus size women as well. But there's usually something weird about the way that they love certain bodies. That's not like a normal type of love. And the word is on the tip of my tongue. It's fetishization. But I never said that. You guys can't quote me on that. So yeah, but it's definitely different. Definitely different. No, yeah, it's just a lot of people can't fathom that people carry weight differently. I always see comments on like people showing themselves at 200 pounds, and the person will look really good, genuinely. And it's like, why doesn't my 200 pounds look like that? And it's like, well, because people carry weight differently. What else can I tell you? Genuinely, nothing. Not a damn thing can be told. But that's because I would be like that too. I'd be like, well, why doesn't my 210 pounds look like that? Well, Clarissa, because you don't carry weight the same way they do. Come on now. Come on now. Like, it's kind of obvious. It's a little bit obvious at that point. But yeah. I need chapstick. Where is my chapstick? Because my lips get dry so easily, and that's because I'm still somewhat a mouth breather. Oh my god. So completely off topic to like the whole Michelle thing, because I'm glad I got my 2 cents out. Essentially because I did a whole lot of yapping. The gist of it is, can we please focus on both communities that are like killing people? Because they are. But anyways, um, then again, it's not just towards her. I'm not making a video to Michelle McDaniel, like that's no. But like for people who just focus on one, let's focus on both. But anyways, what did I want to talk about? I thought about it. I thought about it. Like I was thinking about it for a while now. And it's just something so dumb because I made a video of me doing my lipstick and stuff. Uh And in that video, I said my lips get dry easy because I'm like a part time mouth breather because I was overweight and because I had also a big issue with sleep apnea, and also my nose hole is weird because like not much air comes out of one as it comes out of the other. So everything considered, I'm going to be a mouth breather. But sleep apnea, do you guys know how horrible sleep apnea was? And it doesn't help when you're overweight and you have tonsillitis. Tonsillitis was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Hold on, let me just address this comment. I've never felt fetishized for being 5'7", but it felt for being Afro Latino. What the fuck? I don't. People are weird. Why would people say that? That's weird. That's weird. Ew. Yeah, no, a lot of things. Typically, like people within like the minority range of it all, there's a fetishization that occurs within those things, and it's weird. It's like, guys, I'm not feeling complimented here. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable, and not only is that just, well, fetishization at some point can be also sexual harassment, but that's what it is. It's also sexual harassment. Fuck these people. Damn. That's a weird thing to say to anybody in public. I'm judging. I don't know who said that, but I am judging. But okay. So with the whole thing I had going on, y'all, there it girl. Hold on. Well, if you didn't, pick a couch fucker, maybe, but okay. Um, you are what do I do here? Cool. Okay. Cause yeah, I'm not rocking with that. Hell does go back even mean? I know what it means, but I'm not messing with that at all. Anyways, so with the whole tonsillitis thing, you guys, that thing was the worst thing ever. And I really loved eating lots of food at the time. Do you know how hard it made it to eat? It's so off topic to anything we were talking about. But like, it's just been like, damn, I really went through that. So the whole tonsillitis thing that runs in my family, and again, I've been wanting to talk about it for a while. Bear with me. It's essentially like the tonsils swelling up, and they become infected. You guys, this is gonna get so gross so fast. Do you know there was pus building up behind my tonsils? That's why I don't have tonsils anymore. They had to cut them out. I was in so much pain, you guys. Like, I've been through so much in my life, so many bad things, but that is still like top 5 of those things. I don't know, but I don't think it's at number 1, not number 2. Maybe 5 or 4. But it was bad. It was so bad. It was like, what? Okay, so on top of that, with the tonsils being like so swollen, air is not passing out normally. So I would be snoring, and I wouldn't believe people when they told me that I snored. And then one night, my mom recorded me snoring. I was so upset. I was like, "Why did you do that?" And it was like, Clarissa, because you don't believe us when we tell you that you are snoring. And it's like, fuck, now I do have to get my tonsils removed. And it's like, well, not so fast, because we're actually not going to resort to that. We're going to give you a ton of antibiotics, and let's see where that takes us. The more that they became infected, the more complications I was noticing with everything. I couldn't eat right. My food wasn't digesting right. All of this happened. My heart would like feel like it was going to stop at any moment. It was just bad. The breaking point for me was one time, and this is very gross, guys, warning, because I'm going to be talking about throwing up, but I ate a cookie one day, right? I was eating a cookie, and it was at a point where I've chewed it enough. I could swallow this cookie now. Clarissa could not, in fact, swallow that cookie. In fact, she tried, and it partially went down. I could see my views going down right now just because this is so gross. And then I choked, and it came back up. And it was a Chips Ahoy. It was a Chips Ahoy cookie, you guys, and it hurt so much. And I was like, but I drank this with milk. It shouldn't even be this painful to come up. It should be like, what typically happens when you dip a cookie in milk. I was so in shock. I was hurting so much and I looked, the cookie was very much chewed. Chips Ahoy cookies already taste like vomit at all. And it's like, well, Clarissa, you ate the cookie. And I was like looking at the sink, and it was like, I need to go to the hospital immediately. Like, this is not fine. My mom took me to the ER, and they were like, yeah, your tonsils are very infected, but we can't do anything about that right now. We have to plan that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you a shot of penicillin in your ass and send you home. They didn't. They fucked that one up. They messed it up so bad. I don't know what they hit, but they had me there, and they hit something. I don't know if it was a nerve, a muscle, or a bone. I don't know what they said they hit. But the nurse that administered that shot was kind of like, oops. She didn't care. She'd be like, you'll be all right. I was not, in fact, all right at all. I couldn't walk the next day, you guys. I couldn't walk. It felt like there is a certain pain that I felt like. Have you guys ever hit your elbow and it does like this like vibrational thing because of a weird nerve or something that's there? That's how my leg felt. My entire leg felt when I would put any amount of pressure on it, which would obviously cause me to fall. It was horrible. All because, A, we can't do anything. We've already given you enough antibiotics. We're just going to give you a penicillin shot, and you guys could set up whatever you guys want to. It was literally Booty Charlie horse. That's what that was. It was so bad. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And then, you know what's crazy though? My leg felt better just in time for school. I couldn't walk. And I had a reputation for being more dramatic about things than for being dramatic about things that really aren't that deep. As a kid, I had that reputation, which is why I really don't say when anything happens to me and things like that. So yeah. And that is one of the experiences that added to that, because I would tell my parents, I can't walk. It hurts to walk. And they're like, you're being dramatic. Get up. And I was like, I can't though. What are we gonna do about that? And they're like, just walk it off. And I was like, I can't walk. I was so upset. So I came home, right? The next morning, that's when that pain really, oh, it got me, right? It was like, oh my God, I cannot walk. I'm gonna die. And well, I wasn't gonna die. I just couldn't walk. And so I was dragging my body across the floor from my room to the living room to the little dining table where nearby there was a computer that we had, like a desktop, like the whole thing, right? Big old window setup. And it was like, we have a rolling chair there. I'm gonna grab the chair and I'm gonna use it as a makeshift wheelchair to get around. But I was dragging my fucking body. I was like, you guys ever seen in those like military training things where they're like under the thing like that? Except they can kind of use their legs. I couldn't. I was dragging myself. I was like, and I made it to the chair. I couldn't really move it because it was a weird wonky chair. And then they were like, all right, girls, get ready, go to the car. We're gonna go to the store. We have something to do. We're gonna go to Walmart. And I was like, trágame tierra. I was so mad. I was like, no, they're taking us to the store. My legs all fucked up. Oh my God. God strike me now. It was so bad. So I'm at the store now. Um, on the cart like this, like just holding myself, kind of dragging along, using the weight of the wheels taking me like that. And I couldn't walk. My mom was like yards away from me as she was shopping, and I was on the cart like that. And I have a memory. I stumbled into the toy section, and it was like, I don't know if it was near my birthday or something, but my mom felt very nice that day, and she was like I was like, "Oh mom, can I have this?" And she was like, "Sure." And you know what it was? It was one of those things. It's like a diary that's like voice activated. You say your password and it would open up. I love that. I wrote so much in that. And it came with like a UV pen. And so like even if a person were to get in it, well, it also did come attached with like a UV light, so they could still read it. But still, it was a cute toy. And I remember buying that. And then I remember the next day it was, oh no shit, it was well into June. Yeah, it was Father's Day that day. No, it wasn't. No, the fuck it wasn't. Wait, no, because I had school. And you guys see how my memory is with remembering events? We celebrated somebody's birthday because we had wings the next day and stuff. We did something. So it was a family thing. And I got to the house, right? And I was like, I can't walk at this point. It's a miracle I even made it into this house. I'm going to sit on this couch the whole time that people are out there partying and things. I couldn't do it at all. And then my mom was like, if you still feel like this the next day, you don't have to go to school. And I was like, it hurt so much. It's probably just going to be a little less painful, but I'll let you know. I was walking the next morning like nothing. And it was like, why did this happen? Why did this shit have to happen to me? And I felt better the day of school morning. I woke up 6:30 something in the morning and I was like, why can I walk? Why am I able to walk? I wasn't able to walk at all yesterday. I missed out on hot wings and all that. But my legs decided to get very motivated the morning that we had spelling tests and things like that. I was so mad. You guys, I was pissed. But then after that, we didn't hear much about my tonsils, except I would go to my appointments and they'd be like, yeah, Clarissa, there is definitely pus behind your tonsils. We need to take them out. And I was okay with it. You know, how bad can it be? We had a meeting with the surgeon. And suddenly my little nonchalant attitude was killed right then and there. This surgeon was, I don't know if it's just the way he said it, but he made it seem like a very high risk procedure. Like you will definitely die. And if you don't die, good for you. But because on the off chance that because of your weight, blah, 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 you're gonna probably lose a lot of blood and you might need a blood transfusion. And if you don't get a blood transfusion, you will die. And you know, when you die, you don't come back, you stop breathing and blah, blah, blah. That's what I heard as a 9 to 10-year-old. So I was sobbing when I left. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die!" And it was the day before the surgery. That meeting happened the day before the surgery. That was like, "So you eat whatever you want. It's gonna be your last time eating. You know, just don't eat from 12 till after the surgery. And even then, if you live through the surgery, you're just gonna be able to eat ice cream and Jello. So anyways, I'll see you tomorrow at 8." And it was like, yeah, no, we're cooked. It's over. I thought I was gonna die at age 9, and I didn't die. You know what I mean? So I was in the car crying, and my mom comforted me the only way anyone knew to comfort me, by taking me to a Mexican spot where, where she got me this really big ass chicken quesadilla. This shit was so good. It had like guacamole and all that stuff. It had the sour cream. I was not crying after that. I was like, this is a good last meal. Even my mom was like, enjoy your last meal. And I was like, why would you say that? But anyways, after that, I went home. I hung out with one of my neighbors because I was good friends with my neighbor at the time. And she came over to the house, and I was like, they're gonna remove my tonsils, Esther. They're gonna remove my tonsils. And she's just like, oh my god, what are tonsils? She was like 2 years younger than me, I think. And she went home, and I was just I was like, I was watching Alvin and the Chipmunks on cable and stuff, and I was like, it was like a rerun of like the old movie, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of over, so might as well just get some good TV time before. And so then the next day, I went to the place where they were gonna do the surgery. Did you live? No, I didn't live. Um, you guys are watching a ghost right now. Anyways, so I went to the place and all was good. And then they had me in the room. I was crying. They had me in the room for about a good like 30 minutes to an hour. I don't remember. And then 10 minutes before they actually took me in, they were like, okay, Clarissa, put on the robe and all that, and we'll bring you into the room, and this will all be over soon. And I was like, what do you mean it'll be over soon? And so I was crying. My mom, I don't know if she still has it, but she took a video of me. I was crying, and I was just like, I don't want to die. I was so upset. I was like 9, I think, 9 or 10. And I was so sad because I was like, no, I just got into Five Nights at Freddy's. I can't die, bro. Like, I didn't even know. So I was in and out of that. Anesthesia is such an interesting thing because they had me in that room, and I remember asking the anesthesiologist, like, is that the anesthesia? And I was so upset. Like, my voice was so like weak at that point. And he was like, yeah, it is. And they're injecting me with that. They had this TV playing like a waterfall. I blink, and then I open my eyes, and I'm like out of the room being offered a strawberry popsicle. And my vision is so blurry. And there's this doctor in front of me, and I see like 4 of her, but like it's cool. So she's like, oh, you're awake. Okay, when you feel better, go get dressed in the bathroom over there. Your mom's gonna come and get you. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, and then here's a popsicle, so you can like eat that when you're done getting dressed. And I was like, okay. And they were like, so no hot foods, no hard foods, just ice cream and Jello, maybe gelatin, whatever you want. Not Jello or gelatin. No, they said I could eat those, like the brand Jello, like the pudding cups, which were so good, by the way. I completely did not listen to anything, not a damn thing that these doctors instructed me. But that wasn't my fault. That was my dad's fault. So I got home, right? I was eating this ice cream. I was watching something on Nickelodeon, right? I was like, oh, yeah, this is so good, blah, 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 right? And my dad made sopa de fideo, which I really, really love. It's so good. And he puts like queso fresco on it, or like he gives me some to put. So good. Oh, by the way, let me just read this comment. You should switch back and forth from English to Spanish when you're speaking. The Cayuchi song always feels like a little Easter egg, hearing some good Spanish in the wild. I might. I do speak a lot of Spanglish sometimes, without wanting to. It's just it's a mental thing. And then I feel like I'm in a Netflix series, with like the really forced Spanish. But anyways, so my dad made that. And then I was like, oh, it smells so good. And he was all like, come eat a plate. And I was like, they told me I can't eat hot food. And he was all like, a little plate's not gonna do anything to you. So I ate. And it was so good. And then the next day, I go to the bathroom and it's like something tastes like metal in my mouth. What could that be? I spit into the sink and there's blood. But that part doesn't even matter because nothing ever like I saw that there was like black stitching on the back. Do they stitch it or what was that I was seeing? Because I would open my mouth and I saw like little X's, little black X's along where my tonsils were. But there was never any follow up with that unless I truly am dead and I'm just replaying what could have been my life in some weird type of purgatory, which could explain why bad things keep happening. But no, it bled a little bit. Wake up. No. But it bled a little bit, like a little bit, and nothing ever happened again. I was like, okay, I think I'm not gonna eat any more hot foods. I think I'm just gonna, lay low on those. And that I did. I ate only ice cream for 5 days. It was so fun. It was great. And then I lost out on perfect attendance awards. I had been winning perfect attendance awards since I was in the second or first grade of that school. But because the teacher decided, no, 5 days is not enough for you to be recovering, even though your doctor's note clearly says 5 days is enough. Yeah, you're not getting those days excused. So you lost out on perfect attendance. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was so upset. I was like, no, this bitch can't be doing this to me. I didn't play about my perfect attendance awards. I want trophies. They would give you a cute little trophy. That bitch killed her. But anyways, I'll never forgive her. Ever in my life. So, yeah. Oh, I hold grudges. I'll hold this grudge over a perfect attendance award, which is really just an educational participation award for years to come. But yeah, she did me dirty. I will never forgive her at all. Let's see. Okay. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna end this live because I've got stuff to do. Anyways, bye.